Hello everyone, Howard here. Today I'm back with a relatively affordable, again relatively affordable because most of the videos I do are a little bit more in the entry-level luxury to luxury space. But from time to time, I love to do these more affordable fun watches. I've done some Casios, Tissot, Timex, but today in front of me is the Orient Mako 3. Some people call that Mako 3. I'll put the model number in the back below. This one was introduced in July of 2023, so exactly a year ago. I find this one to be pretty nice, interesting, fun watch. It's a diver. Basic stat 39.9 case, so it's great size for small to mid-size wrist. 12.8 millimeters thick, so it's kind of the average number. Lug-to-lug 46.5, so it's not too bad again for small to mid-size wrist. The bracelet, the lug width is 20, but the actual bracelet is slightly narrow at 19.7. One thing to notice is the bracelet doesn't taper, so it's 19.7 all the way down on both sides. Both sides 19.7, but the buckle here, the clasp is quite big, and it's also slightly wider than 19.7. So if you have a small wrist, you got to make sure when you size the links, make sure this is sort of in the center of your back of your wrist. Otherwise, it may not be very comfortable if it's sided too much to the other direction. Most of the direct view is more of a nickel finish on the shoulder and as well as the bracelet. The side is polished on both sides. Traditional sort of a three-link oyster looking bracelet. The back is pretty much all nickel finish. On the back here, you may notice there's the word Epson, which makes sort of a scanner and printer. Because Epson, a Japanese company that bought Orient in 2009. I mean, the brand itself, I had a couple of Orient watches before myself. If you follow Japanese watches, it's got a long history, officially established in 1950, but the actual root traced back to early 1900s. So it's an established brand, and I think their most famous brand to a lot of folks might be the Bambino, a bit more dressy type of the watch. The watch is not light though. With full links, it's 162.5 grams or 5.75 ounce. This one's got 3 links removed, so it's 144.5 grams or 5.08 ounces. I think it's okay weight. If it's full link at 163, that's slightly on the heavier side. Caliber F6722. 40-hour power reserve, has 21,600 beats per hour. The official published number in terms of accuracy is minus 15 seconds plus 25 seconds per day, which I would say it's more normal for this type, range, the price range in this area. It's generally, they're not super accurate. By the way, it's a screw down crown sapphire crystal glass. 200 meter, obviously it's diver 20 bar, 200 meter water resistance. But based on my testing for the last 6 days, it's a lot more accurate than the stated minus 15 plus 25 a day. I'm actually getting about plus 6.7 seconds, less than 7 seconds faster a day. So in the last 6 days, it's been almost 50 seconds faster. So that's quite acceptable. In my view, I think if you look at online discussions, a lot of people say this watch is actually more accurate than they thought, which seems to be the case so far. Again, all the index in the hand is the outside is silver. Depending on like this angle looks more black for the hands, but it's actually because of lighting. And the other thing is, the inside piece of the hand is actually a skeleton you can see through, which is a nice little touch. And the other nice little touch is the second hand in the top is got the little, yellow tip, which adds just a little bit more, fun to the watch. Otherwise, it's just white or light silver may look a little bit too bland. So the biggest question I wanted to answer is this a white or light silver dial? Because in the photo of the website, looks like a very nice white, creamy Explorer 2 type of dial. But when you're looking at it in person, it's definitely, depending on the lighting, it's a little bit more light silver to me. Again, depending on the lighting, some angles will look more white, other angles look more silver. At the end of this video, I actually have about 1 minute look outside of the sunlight. You can get a real look of what does it look like outside. But I like to compare this right now to you so you can see to Explorer 2 Polar. I mean, everyone knows the Explorer 2 has a really nice white. Maybe it's a bit of, I would say, like a pure white. It's more. So you can compare the two, right? When you're side by side, you can see, compared to a real white watch, this one doesn't look as white, right? You will look more light silver. If you look by yourself, I think, again, it looks, you know, white enough. But again, depending on the angle, you can see the sun ray. Definitely it's more silver, like this angle right here. Silver looking, sun ray reflecting it. But right next to a white watch, it's clear the Orient is not a pure white. It's not a creamy white like the photo it displayed on the website. It has a more of a kind of silverish. And depending on the lighting, you can actually see, let me see if I can get a good angle. The dial, why is it reflecting a little bit more of a silver color? It's not a super flat surface in terms of paint, right? It's not a flat paint white color. It has, you can see almost, it's hard to get it on the video, but you can see not in video, in real life, it almost feel like it has the super fine grain, tiny grains. But generally from distance, you can tell it looks like a white, light silver. So check it out yourself. If you're interested in this watch, go to your local store to see if you can see it in person, to see if you like this light silver. Because in reality, like I said over and over, it looks very different than the photo. Let's do a quick look on my wrist. My wrist is 6.5 inches, 16.5 centimeters. I think a 40 millimeter watch with a 46.5, which is very close to the Explorer 2 I had. I think it's a great fit. It doesn't look big at all. I mean, 12.8, it's okay if you tighten the bracelet. It's not going to look super tall. And, just looking at the angle here, again, on the video, I say this in every video, it's not a true reflection, even though in the video, it looks like from the edge of my wrist to the lug is only about 5, millimeters, but it's actually at least 10. And here, there's definitely a few millimeters left. So 40 millimeter watch, 46 lug-to-lug, 12.8, perfectly fine. I think, the thickness is a key here. For small wrists like us, if the watch is over 30 millimeter, you're going to look way too thick, especially the shape of the wrist. Like my wrist shape, even though it's 16.5 centimeters, not tiny, but it's more of a flat looking, right? Top to bottom is flat. It's not round. So flat looking wrist, you don't want a watch that's too tall, over 13. Again, as I said earlier, because the bracelet doesn't taper, it's 19.7 all the way down. All the way down on the other side too. Plus, this clasp here is pretty big. It's wide. So if you don't like this wider size bracelet and a wider, big, not just wide, also long clasp, I mean, you can change it to a NATO, or there are tons of rubber available. So this watch on the US website is advertised at $505, but it looks like it's always on sale. Currently, July 2024, it's on sale for $340. But if you sign up with your email, you get another 10%. So literally, if you buy it from Orient directly in the US, it's 304, 305, 300, a little bit over 300 plus sales tax. But if you want to buy from Japan right now, because the dollar and the yen, Japanese yen exchange rate is at I would say all time highest in the last 38 years. At $1 right now is equal to 160 Japanese yen. Great place to visit Japan, guys. If you want to make a summer trip, go visit Japan. I went there twice in 16 and 17. Beautiful country and to visit. Yeah, so there are a lot of sellers on eBay, small watch companies, small resellers with the high exchange rate. It's like $250, a little bit below $250. So I think at $250, this is a great buy, honestly. At $354, that's maybe a little bit too expensive. If you just want an affordable watch, doesn't have a black dial, clean look, fairly accurate, this is it. I mean, they have other colors, they have a black, purple, and the champagne color, but I think this white is very classic, super classic. I mean, is it perfectly made? It's not. Some of these markers don't align perfectly. The turning of the bezel is a little bit tight, but they did fix this 26-minute mark. I think when this watch first came out, July 2023, this 26-minute mark was more closer to 27, but now it looks perfectly fine. It's very correctly spaced. So I'm doing this indoor right now. You can see the sole. I'm close to the window. The sunlight just sort of went away, and you can see right now without the sunlight, it looks maybe a little bit more silverish look. But for $250, man, I don't know if you can find a better 200-meter diver for $250. I mean, literally, look, one last look. $250 for this Orient diver is literally the cost of one link of this Explore 2. I think this one link sells for $250 at most places. A half link is like $150. This watch is the cost of one link of this watch. Of course, they're different type of watch and different, mechanics and all that. But I like it. I think it's definitely worth considering if you're, wanted to spend $200 to $300 for 200-meter diver. Definitely, it's worth taking a look. All right, the Orient Mako 3. Thanks so much for watching. By the way, at the end of this video, I'm adding a 2-minute outdoor under the sunlight look of the dial. So continue after this. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, I'm outside under direct sunlight, late afternoon. So if the angle of the watch is not directly towards the sun, I think it kind of look more white. But if I'm tilting the watch towards the direct sunlight, you can see the sun ray reflecting, and as well as kind of the dial looks more silver. If I move into the shade, I think it's kind of similar. If in this angle, it does look a little bit more white. But if I'm moving this directly more towards the light, you can kind of feel it's a little bit more silver. Yeah, so I guess depending on the lighting. But I'd say it's overall, if I had to pick a color, I would say the dial is more of a light silver color. I don't think the picture on the website, the pure creamy white, is a true reflection of this watch's dial color.